This is a King James Moment, brought to you by Lighthouse Baptist Church in Grand Prairie, Texas. In John 14:6, Jesus declares himself to be the way, the truth, and the life. And we know from Titus 1:2 that God says that he cannot lie. We know that God cannot lie. Look at John chapter number 7, beginning in verse number 8. Go ye up unto this feast, I go not up yet unto the feast, for my time is not yet full come. This is Jesus speaking. When he had said these words unto them, he abode still in Galilee. But when his brethren were gone up, then went he also up unto the feast, not openly, but as it were in secret. So in verse number 8, Jesus says he's not going up yet. In verse number 10, he goes ahead and goes. The problem comes in the new versions. Once again, in many of the new versions, I made a list: the American Standard Version, the New American Standard Bible, the Revised Standard Version, the New Living Translation, the English Standard Version, the Common Era Version, today's NIV Bible, the Good News Bible, the New American Bible for Catholics, and the NIV 2011 all remove one word. In verse number 8, Jesus said, Go ye up unto this feast, I go not up yet unto this feast. In the new versions, they take out the word yet. In the King James Bible, Jesus said, I go not up yet. And then later, he goes up after he goes up to the feast. No problem whatsoever. But the new versions, Jesus said he wasn't going to the feast, but then he goes anyway. See, by omitting that one word, you in fact have just made, in 3 verses of Scripture, made Jesus a liar. So if a person is reading one of these new versions, they could easily draw one of 2 conclusions. Number one, it's okay to say one thing and do another, which is an absolute lie, or perhaps Jesus is a sinner. Think about that. Either way, it's an attack on the deity of Christ, because we know, again, God cannot lie. Proverbs chapter number 6, verse 16 and 17 tells us that the Lord literally hates a lying tongue. So the Lord's not going to have a lying tongue. But in John 8:44, we know that Satan is the father of lies. The devil is a liar and the father of it. We know from Genesis 3 how subtle Satan is. We know that the devil is very subtle. And isn't it, you think we're just removing the word yet. Well, that's very subtle. But it's very profound whenever you realize that it probably hasn't happened on accident. Let me show you here. This is the NIV Bible. They have a footnote in here. This is the older NIV. And even here in this older NIV, it says, you go up to the feast, I am not yet going up to the feast. And they include a footnote that says some early manuscripts do not have yet. Yet, that today's NIV and the NIV 2011 swap it, and they change the verse, and they leave the word yet out, and their footnote says that some manuscripts include the word yet. So it almost makes you think now that very few of the text included the word yet. Again, we know that the devil is very subtle, and it seems like instead of improving on the NIV, which I would think putting it in a fire would improve it, but as they try to improve it, it's actually getting worse and worse. So instead of just putting a doubtful footnote in the bottom, now they put the doubt in the text and create a footnote that maybe there's not a reason for doubt. If there's not reason for doubt, why not just leave it the way the King James Bible has it correctly? Thank God for the word of truth, the King James Bible, which doesn't confuse Jesus with the very sinners that he came to save. That, my friend, is why I'm sticking with my King James Bible. And once again, this has been a King James Moment from Lighthouse Baptist Church.